All right. Won't make you wait any longer. You've waited long enough. Thanks for coming. If you could kind of just take a couple minutes, introduce yourself, why you're running for re-election, why you think we should endorse you, and then we'll just do questions after that.
Okay, I'm Wright Ellis. I've been supervisor of the town of Cambridge for the past 16 years, I'm in my 16th year. And running for re-election, it's a 4-year term. And very simply, I think I'm the best person for the job at the present time. And I request your endorsement.
Okay. What are you hearing? I assume you're either going to door, you're already in the position, so you've probably got a lot of phone calls. What are the concerns of people in Cambridge right now?
Not many. People always raise the question of taxes.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that we can do at the town level. Our town tax is quite low. I think it's the 3rd lowest of the 12 towns. I think there's just 2 towns that have lower town taxes. The problem is the county and the school taxes. They feel that we have a responsibility because of assessments, which we do at the town level, of course. The assessor operates somewhat independently of the town. It's a 6-year appointment, to try to isolate it from the political process. So we provide the assessor with the information that he or she needs, and they do the job. But that's probably the biggest thing. Some of the older residents concerned with the growth of the town, which is happening. We get pressures from the south coming in from Amherst and Pendleton. A lot of people moving in from Buffalo, Niagara Falls, North Tonawanda. The south half of the town has sewer availability, which over the years will probably facilitate some development. The north half below the escarpment does not, and I would anticipate that'll stay farmland, primarily fruit. All the vineyards are down there, in the northern half. The older people, as I say, as many of them would like to see things always stay the same.
Right.
One of the biggest challenges, I think, that I have is to try to maintain the balance between the new people coming in, who are primarily suburban and urban people, looking for some of the same services, expecting some of the same services they have in those suburban and urban areas. Trying to meet those needs while you support the rural lifestyle that some of our older families, particularly a lot of multi-generational families within the agriculture community, they've been there forever and ever, and are somewhat resistant to change. So they're probably more sensitive to the tax situation than some of the newer people, particularly those that lived in a relatively high taxed area that come to Cambridge. My word, taxes are way low, generally speaking. So I think that's the biggest challenge, trying to maintain that balance.
Do you think you falls into one or the other camp yourself?
Personally, I think the time away changed that. 30 years out of town, between college and the United States Navy. I just have a different outlook than that. And I think I've done a good job of maintaining that balance, because I think I can look at it somewhat more objectively than some people, and I think that's reflected in that little resume there. You see a lot of focus on land use planning. We updated our comprehensive plan, the zoning ordinance, subdivision regulations. I realize that now, after 10 years, it's almost time to take another look at the comprehensive plan, which drives the entire process. But I think I can maintain an objective view, and I can sense my family is multi-generational. I can sense that part of it. I can also see the viewpoint of the new resident, because I came back here myself.
Sure.
Obviously, things changed quite a great deal in 30 years.
I guess just for some background and perspective for us, just on a different topic, pertaining to, you said Cambria is a 4-year term for supervisor.
Right.
So that's not a ballot proposition for you guys, but it is for a couple of towns we cover. What would be your perspective on Pendleton, Lockport, where they're talking about that 4-year or-
I would support it.
Yeah.
I would support it.
Just from being inside
The-
it, you know.
The councilwomen, they have a 4-year term, and the justices have a 4-year term. But it was set up with the supervisor, highway superintendent, tax collector, and town clerk with 2-year terms. And that leads to, you know, the possibility of frequent turnover. It's sometimes difficult to maintain a stream of thought, a plan going over a period of time. When we set it up, when we asked for the 4-year terms here 8 years ago, I think it was, don't quote me on that. I think it was about 8 years ago. We paired the supervisor and the highway superintendent together, and then the other 2 years is the tax collector and the town clerk. And the rationale for this was that the supervisor and the town clerk are responsible for the administration of the town, between the two of them. And so by separating them, you would always have some continuity. If one of them changed, you'd have the other one maintaining some continuity.
Right.
But I think 4 years is a reasonable time for the supervisor.
It seems, from the primary vote, you're something of a subject, and I guess, you know, a little debate about whether there's a machine out there. You know, we see a conflict between, no, a GOP machine.
Right.
You know, you're obviously doing battle with something, and it's tied to, you know, town versus county independence of the towns with the sewer district, the water district. Talk about that somewhat, if you would. I guess I'm particularly interested in this idea. We had a gentleman in here running for legislature yesterday talk about the wrongness he feels of that's a poor choice of words, I guess, but the county trying to assert control over the sewer district, because the sewer district in his mind is something that was funded, built, maintained by the towns, and its power of self-determination is now usurped by the legislature. Do you think that that is true, and
It is.
is that a town issue for?
It certainly is. Both the water and the sewer district, the water district is composed of the supervisors of 12 towns, all 12 towns, serves the entire county, towns, excuse me, not cities. The sewer district, 6 supervisors. They were formed in the early 70s and late 60s. I think the water district was late 60s and the sewer district was about 71. In the case of the sewer district, it was originally set up with the 6 supervisors, and I think they had 4 legislators as part of the board, 3 of whom had to come from towns or from areas that were served by the sewer district. And after the sewer plant was built and established and up and running, then it was turned over to the supervisor. And that was part of the original contract, the way it was set up, that would happen, and it did. And the sewer district and the water district have run themselves very well for 30 or 35 years. Sometimes there are conflicts between the districts and the legislature. The legislature does have a responsibility to approve our bonding when we go out for bonds for infrastructure and things of that nature. We have the approval of the county legislature to do that. They provide us services in personnel. We work through the county personnel office.